With thousands of lakes in Wisconsin, Northwoods residents are familiar with aquatic animals, but some underwater creatures are stranger than others. Recently, reports of bizarre blobs in local lakes caught my attention. My first stop was Indian Lake near Sugar Camp, where rumors of alien eggs had me intrigued. After a short paddle, I found strange gelatinous blobs clinging to sticks in the water. They were definitely unusual. Curious to learn more, I knew just where to go next. Trout Lake Station near Boulder Junction is a University of Wisconsin limnology field research lab, where scientists study our lakes and rivers. I met up with aquatic ecologist Susan Knight, whom identified the Indian Lake blobs as creatures called bryozoans.
Well, people in the past, sometimes they call us up and they say, I've got something in my lake and it looks like human brains. And I said, well, I know exactly what you've got. You've got bryozoans. First of all, there are many, many kinds of bryozoans. But the one that is kind of spectacular around here, the Latin name is Pectinatella magnifica, which I think is a great name.
Bryozoans are similar to ocean coral, but instead of producing calcium deposits, they produce a gelatin-like substance on which they live. The animals that cover the jelly ball have tentacle-like structures that circulate water into their mouths, allowing them to feed on microorganisms in the water, such as bacteria and fungi.
They're actually filtering the water, so they're usually a sign of good water quality. They are native to Wisconsin lakes, and they're completely harmless.
These creatures passively attach themselves oftentimes to trees in the water or the legs on docks and begin cloning themselves, growing into the blobs we see during the summertime. The gelatin ball dissolves in the fall, and the bryozoan morphs into a stage called a stratoblast, where it floats to a new location, starting its life cycle again in the spring. Susan was a wealth of knowledge about these bizarre animals, but I had one more question. Are they aliens?
They're not aliens.
During my time at Trout Lake Station, I heard about another strange animal in Northwoods Lakes, freshwater jellyfish. I headed to Vilas County to see if I could find some. At Carpenter Lake near Eagle River, I met Tom Bergman, president of the Carpenter Lake Association, who told me the lake was full of jellyfish. On a pontoon ride, we quickly spotted thousands of the delicate, translucent jellyfish drifting through the water, a remarkable sight. Tom shared his experience seeing them for the first time.
Well, it's just so unique. We noticed them first last year in 2023, again this time of year. And when someone came with a little water bottle with a couple of jellyfish in it, I just couldn't believe it. So I got in my boat and went out, and sure enough, they're just everywhere. And honestly, once you see them, you can't unsee them. It's really awesome.
Again, I went back to Trout Lake Station to visit with evolutionary ecologist Gretchen Garish to learn about how jellyfish ended up in our Northwoods lakes.
Freshwater jellyfish have been in the waters of northern Wisconsin for quite a while. They did come over probably in ballast water through the Great Lakes, and then once they moved into the freshwater systems, were able to take residence in very unique kind of small situations. It's uncommon that you see them all over the place. They're kind of found in like certain areas or certain portions of a lake or very specific lake systems.
Jellyfish populations fluctuate yearly based on their life cycle and zooplankton availability. As they aren't native to Wisconsin lakes, the question arises, are they invasive, and do they pose any threat to our waterways?
I wouldn't call the jellyfish an invasive species. That word is often reserved for species that come in and exclude other species or grow to abundances that are overwhelming and change the ecosystem dynamics of our waterways.
Although the jellyfish do have stinging tentacles used to capture their food, they are harmless to humans. The freshwater jellyfish is an example of how creatures can move around the earth.
I think that's what pulls people in and intrigues them, and it also connects them to the broader ocean, soaked world that we live on.
Lastly, I had to ask, was Gretchen positive these aren't alien creatures?
They are not aliens. They are definitely related to their marine cousins, and have just taken residence in the freshwater habitat.
If you ever encounter bryozoans or jellyfish in our area lakes, now you'll know they didn't fall from space, but are just another part of the amazing ecosystem that makes up our Northwoods of Wisconsin. Reporting in Sugar Camp, Eagle River, and Boulder Junction, I'm Kerry Bladorn with Newswatch 12.